First time playing the game. Never really seen anything from this game. From this, looks kind of interesting, so we'll see what this is all about. By the way, I forgot the piano kid's name. It's like a really obvious thing, and I forgot it. I used to be a big Peanuts fan. Sad that I don't remember that much about the lore. What? What just happened? What is the objective? Oh, you have to hit those things? Alright. I see how this is. So we got one. Okay. We got one so far. This is not at all what I was expecting. I'm not entirely sure how I died twice. I must be blind, but this is also kind of hard to see, as you can probably tell. It's a little hard to see due to this decoration we have here, which was kind of unnecessary. And I did it anyways, not really knowing what was gonna go down. I see. The Woodstocks are sleeping. I did remember their name. Hard to forget such an iconic character. Oh shoot. But yeah, I read so many of these strips back in the day. Starting from like the 50s ones to the either very late 90s or early 2000s. I don't remember if it actually went until the 2000s. But yeah, I was around for like 50 years. Pretty impressive. I was around for a while, man. This game's not too bad, but it is a very low scoring game. Oh shoot. It takes a while to really get a lot of points going on here. Maybe game B will be a little faster, so we'll see. Usually the goal for me, almost always actually, the goal is just score 100. In some cases, like Game & Watch Zelda, that game actually has an ending. And the game itself is actually way longer than you might expect. There's 8 dungeons, 8 Triforce pieces. Relax. Well, I didn't really know what's going on when I played this in the beginning, so now I know what's going on though. So 100 is definitely feasible here. This game's not too bad. It is quite charming visually. It does. You can't say it doesn't. Like look at these graphics, dude. These graphics may be better than the 8-bit games as far as how close it looks to the actual work. And yeah, this is the second Snoopy game I've played on Game & Watch now. First one is Snoopy Tennis. I believe this is probably just the last one. We have two Popeye games, I think. Two Snoopy games. Um, yeah, I was a fan of Thimble Theater also, so. You could say these some of these Game & Watch titles actually appeal to me because of that. These licensed games. Mickey Mouse, not so much into Mickey Mouse. Although it is a shame, you know, we never got any Garfield Game & Watches. Garfield first appeared in the 70s, so it wasn't impossible. Alright, it was not impossible. And Garfield had an exclusive Famicom game, exclusive to Japan, that is. Well, yeah, Famicom. So I feel like it was definitely possible. I mean, most of these Game & Watches, I think, well, I actually don't know. I assume not all of them made it out of Japan. Well, definitely not all of them, actually. But maybe most of them did, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this game takes a while for it to get started. Like, it doesn't really get engaging until you've been playing for a while, because it's kind of slow. Pretty much screwed here, yeah. But again, goal is 100. We're still in this. Also, you see Peanuts characters, 1950. So that's when these characters were introduced. I can't read the other dates. But yeah, oh, one of them was introduced in 65. I'm gonna assume that, like, that's like a 100% chance of being Woodstock. That was introduced in 65. He was definitely a later character. Definitely one of the best characters, I would say. Okay, we got 100 in. And because it's a low-scoring game, oh, that's actually the ending of the game. That little thing there. What do you want? Cutscene. We'll call it a cutscene. Yeah, I mean, that has to be the end of the game. Well, I'm gonna keep going until I lose, pretty much. Which can't. Also, I figured we would earn a life back, which is generally what happens when you hear that sound after you reach a certain number of points. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of difficult. I mean, I feel like no matter how you play this game, it's going to be somewhat difficult to see the action. It takes a little bit to get used to. I mean, even my Popeye one that I have, it's kind of hard to see. I am happy that I own it because it is cool. It is, I will say, it's pretty cool to have. Nintendo did make quite a few Popeye games, and by quite a few I mean like 4. They made the arcade one, the NES one, 2 Game & Watch ones. But yeah, they did not make the Popeye English teaching game. That was a different developer, even though it looks just like the Popeye NES. And as far as I know, those were the last Popeye games they made, and then the Popeye games kind of started going downhill. You got Popeye 1 for the Game Boy, which is actually one of the worst games I've ever played. It didn't even make it out of Japan. Right, that's pretty insane. Then you got Popeye 2 for the Game Boy, which is actually solid despite its very apparent flaws, mostly being slowdown. And also your inputs get eaten, which is pretty garbage, but it's actually kind of good. So it's like, oh shoot, it's like Super Mario Land with Popeye. At least it looks like Super Mario Land. The first levels are pretty similar, but then they kind of actually, the levels actually get weird in that game. It's not just, you know, get to the end. It's kind of almost like a mazes after a while, which is unfortunate. Actually, Popeye 1 Game Boy is just mazes. They should have not brought the mazes back. Oh shoot, I did not know you could die that way. What? By falling off? Is that? That's actually how it went, huh? I did not know that, huh, okay. There is Popeye, or somehow Popeye the whole time for some reason. Snoopy, panorama screen, alright?